Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, what is going on, guys?
Hello guys, what is going on?
It's Canman, and I am back. Hey guys, so those of you who've been subscribed for a while probably do know who I am. I made the channel with Zen back in like 2012 and stayed uploading until around 2015 where I already stopped playing the game. Now with mobile back, now with mobile released, I've recently gotten back into the game and I've thought, you know what? Why not get back into YouTube as well? And hopefully some of you guys have also been playing OSRS and will enjoy the content that I make. So one of my most popular series back in the day was Road to 100 Mil. It's the one series I think that I actually completed. And I said it was from scratch back then, but the main criticism that I got was, you've got all these 99s, it's not truly a from scratch. And I thought, you know what? Now that I'm starting from scratch properly again, why not remake that series in OSRS, and with the release of new players, perhaps it'll help a bunch of new players, and I'll be able to explore a bunch of money making methods through that as well. So I've already finished the first episode. The goal for the first episode for me was to have a bond, which you can see here, and to get 500 total for one of the secret money makers. Not really a secret, but I've done that, as you can see. If you do want to have a look and see how I managed to do that, please do stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy. Hello guys, alright, let's get started. So, to begin with, let me give you a brief look at what I have, what I'm working with. It's a from scratch series, so here are my stats. This account is my main from back when I played RS3. At the launch of Old School, I did do a little bit of, I played on the launch day and I helped one of my friends get #1 smithing for a brief time, and I believe I went up to #2. So that's literally all the progress I've made. It might not technically be from scratch, but I think it's close enough, to be honest. So these were back from the Old School launch, and I've got one cooking. In terms of quests, I've got Doric's quests and the Knight's Sword done. Other than that, I have nothing. It's completely empty. My bank is cleaned, not even the tutorial island stuff. I threw all of that out. So this is what we've got to work with. So I think to begin with, what I'm going to do is to do the Halloween event. I think, if I remember correctly, from watching people's streams, you get a bunch of, I wouldn't call them rares, but what were rares in RuneScape 3. So let's start and do that. Now, where was it again? I believe it was near Port Sarim. I'll see you guys there. Here we go. Yes, Eric. All right, let's talk to Eric, see what he's got for us. Tell me more about what you're planning. Go, go, go. All right, I'll help you. Boom. Boys, that's it. I've got all of this mostly useless stuff. It looks cool. So I spent roughly, what, an hour or so, and I've got 80k. All right, boys, not gonna lie, I thought it would be something like 200k. So this was a bit of a waste of time, but 80k is something to start with, at least. So I mentioned things I'm looking to do in this episode. I need to get a bond, and I also need to get 500 total level. So what I'm going to do now is train woodcutting, fishing, I believe. Let me load up my plan, see what I said. Fishing and crafting, all in profitable ways, so I can build up that cash stack. And I'm really only planning to invest in prayer, where I'm going to lose money. And I'm not going to do rune crafting at all. So that's what I'll be doing, and I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Yes, boys. All right, that was 33 woodcutting done. So that is the first level 33 that I needed. And there we go, boys. I've got 35 fishing. Onto the next skill. So just a little bit of an update, a small update. I am doing 35 as opposed to 33 now, because I've decided I do not want to do rune crafting. So I'll just level all the other skills a little bit higher. I might throw in a few quests here and there as well. They go to the early levels. Alright, boys, before we do that, let's sell the GE stuff real quick, or let's sell the skilling stuff even real quick. My iron axe hasn't sold yet, and then we'll move on to the next skill, not the next quest, as I said. And I'm just finishing off the sales, so that is everything, I think. in my bank that has value, except for the tinder boxes. Doesn't really matter. So right now that brings my cash stack up to 107k. I think I'll do fire making and cooking next. And that is 35 cooking onto fire making. This should be the level. And there we go, 35 fire making. Now, unfortunately, fire making has drained my money a little bit. So before I continue skilling, I'm going to be doing a Moneymaker. So this is going to be my first proper Moneymaker of the series. And what I will be doing is making dough. So if I remember correctly, there's two doughs that are in I say demand. So there's pizza dough and there's pastry. I'm going to check out the margins, and then I'll decide what to make, and I'll probably do that for a couple of hours till I remember a while ago I tested it and it was around 100 to 200 100 to like 120k an hour. So I'll check back with that and get back to you guys. Okay, so there are three types of doughs you can usually make. You can make either bread dough, which I will make now, it's the first one, or pastry dough, which is the second one, and pizza dough, which is the third one. I know, or pizza base even. Usually, pastry dough and pizza bases have the highest margins, simply because I know for pizza base you can make anchovy pizzas, which is used a lot in PKing. Pastry, I'm not quite sure why, but they are traded in high volume, whereas bread, you just make bread. I think the margins for bread are unusually high right now for because we have a bunch of new players coming in, so that's sold for 280, whereas these are a little bit lower than that. Usually that wouldn't be the case, and they wouldn't be traded at a higher volume. So what I would usually go for is either the pizza base or the pastry dough, but I will be going for the bread dough just on this occasion, because currently you got a bunch of new players with mobile, and I think they're buying a lot of bread, so I'll supply that and make a bit more profit. Alright boys, not gonna lie, the bread dough was a bit of a mistake. It's been maybe 4 hours or so, maybe 3 hours, and this is all it sold, and I sold it at like the lowest price available. So I think I'll just take what has been sold and just convert that or invest that into pizza dough. In the meantime, I got my wood cutting up a bit and got my combat levels and prayer all up to 10, just to do something while I was waiting on it to sell. Now I'll get a bit more money so I can fund my crafting, maybe a bit of prayer. I think these will take a few 100k to train. After that I can go all in on the combat skills, and then eventually go do that Zami wine that's waiting for me. Alright, there we go, 35 defense. So a small update for you guys. I've gotten 35 main melee combat stats as well as HP. My total level now is 372. I believe I left you off, it was a while back, but I was money making, so that took a while to sell, which is why I switched up to do some of this. Obviously you can see that I've got some Addy armor and stuff, so it's not all invested in the money making method, but I will catch you in the bank to see how much money we've made. Alright boys, so I'm at the GE. As you can see, my bank value is 362k, so I did do the pizza base making money making method for around an hour. I think I made around 1700 pizza bases or so, and then I sold them for a bunch of different prices, which is why my training was kind of staggered. The good thing, so I just wanted to speak a bit about this money making method. It's got 0 requirements, which is really nice for those of you starting off, and it makes around, well, with the current margins, it makes around 200k an hour. So if any of you guys are kind of following along or anything, I definitely recommend you do this at the early levels. It's super easy, but I would definitely check the margins. And the good thing about this is that the pizza bases has a decently strong market, since they're always used for anchovy pizzas, which are used as combo food, I believe, in F2P PKing. I'm not 100% sure on that though. But either way, the trade volume, as you can see, is around 30k plus sold or traded per day. So that's a decent, reliable moneymaker. But yeah, I did that for an hour or so. I've got this to work with right now. What I'm going to do from now is train magic, crafting, and prayer. I'll do that initially via questing, so I've got a few quests I'm doing, and then I'll train probably crafting and magic, followed by press. Since this is super expensive in F2P, I think I'm going to have to invest like basically most of my cash stack into buying bones to bury them. But yeah, that's the plan right now, and I'll catch you guys after that. There we go. That is the first quest done. Now on to Sheep Shearer. Boom. That is the second quest. Now on to Witch's Potion. Alright, we only need to drink from the cauldron, and I think that is the quest done. There we go. Witch's Potion done. On to Imp Catcher. That's Imp Catcher done. We've got one more quest, Misthalin Mystery left, and then we're back to the skilling grind. Boom, level 10 magic. Very nice. I've just finished the last quest. I forgot to record, but that's all the quests done. This is what my stats are looking like, and I think I'm going to start training crafting. There we go, boys. 35 crafting. Now I think what I'll do is train up range mage and then finally do that prayer, which is going to drain all my money before I regain everything through his hammy wines. There we go, boys. That is the 35 range. Now I believe we're on to magic, where I'll probably be splashing a lot of rats. We've hit 37 magic. I did that so that I can have the Falador teleport for the Wines of Zami grind later. I think I've got 3 mossy keys to go through before I start my prayer, so I'll do that. I probably have to make a bit of money so I can buy the bones, and then we can finally start making money after that. And there we go, 28 prayer. That was expensive, but here we go. We've finally done it. Now I think what that means is that I can finally enter the top level of the Zamarakian wine area. So it's time for me to go make some bank. I'll see you guys in an hour to see how much profit I made from 1 hour of Zami wines. Okay, boys, so it has been 48 minutes since I started doing Zami wines. Unfortunately, I ran out of lore runes, so I'm going to sell what I've got. But here's what I have in 48 minutes. I've got 318k. The method I'm doing is I'm collecting both the upstairs and the downstairs wines. I'll release a guide for that since it doesn't look like anyone's doing that for some reason. The setup has to be a bit different, but I will release a guide for it. This is what I've got in 48 minutes. So roughly in an hour, I can expect to get around 400k. Probably more like 350k an hour. So I'm going to really stick with this money making method until I get the bond. So that should be me doing this for around 10 hours or so before I get that. So I'll catch you guys in 10 hours. This is going to be long for me, and it'll be like 1 second for you. So I didn't quite spend the 10 hours at Zami Wines as I'd anticipated. But what I did do is I spent 5 hours grinding Zami wines, and in each hour I got around 200 wines. So I did average 400k an hour using the upstairs and downstairs method, which I described earlier. So that's really good for free to play. At this point though, I had to travel abroad where I am now, so I couldn't continue the grind properly during this process. And while I was restocking, I did notice that the lore room prices were going crazy. So I decided at that point, let me sell my wines and try my hand at flipping, since it's much more AFK and it's just easier to do. And it has potential for a lot of, for big profits at the same time. Just by the way, it turns out that the reason the laws were going crazy was because they were required for a new, I think, Nexus portal update or something for pay-to-play construction. So for my first flip, I bought 5.4k laws for around 389 GP. Unfortunately, the prices did fluctuate a lot, but didn't rise to the margins that I tested like 5 minutes earlier. So I had to sell them at 391 GP. I didn't make a loss, but I only made 11.1k GP in profit. As for my second flip, I managed to buy around 6k laws at a lower initial price of 353 GP each, which I then managed to sell at 390 GP each, which made me a tidy sum of 221k in profit. And for the third flip, I found out about the update through Reddit, so I tried flipping bananas as well because I saw that they were required for the Nexus portal update. So I put in an order of 13k bananas at 122 GP each. The first batch, which bought for around 4.3k, I managed to sell at 140 GP each, which made me 80k in profit. I then managed to buy another batch at another batch of around 5.7k bananas, at the same price, which I then managed to sell for 193 GP each. That gave me a profit of 407k-ish, and that was by far the most profitable flip of the episode for me. I couldn't buy any more bananas at 122 GP each, unfortunately, since by that point the margins had flown a bit too high. As for my final flip, I managed to buy around 7.8k law runes at 361 GP each, which I then went on to sell for 398 GP each, and that gave me 289 GP in profit for that flip. And a total of just over 1 million profit for the whole flipping session. At this point, I'd had enough money to attempt to buy a bond, which I did, and I managed to snag one at 3.1 mil GP. So that concludes the episode. At this point, I leave you where you saw me at the start. Going forward, I think I'll activate the bond and do something in members. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I'll be sure to show you guys in the second episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.